Hey guys, Johnny May here, and welcome to this week's quick tip. And for this quick tip, we're featuring one of our amazing teachers here at Piano with Johnny, John Proulx. He's an amazing jazz pianist and vocalist, and he has a ton to share with you. So John, take it away.
Welcome everybody, my name is John Proulx. So glad to be here to talk with you about the Jobim chord progression. You say, well, what is that chord progression? Well, this is the chord progression that's used in a lot of his songs. In fact, 3 of his songs, Garota de Ipanema, Desafinado, and Danco Samba, all use this chord progression. And so we're going to talk about the chord progression, we're going to get into the grooves of the songs, and we're going to talk about some other songs that also use this chord progression. So let's get started. Okay, so we're going to begin with the lesson overview. We're going to first start with learning the chords of this chord progression, the C major 7, the D7, etc. And then I'm going to show you, we're going to learn this cool groove, a little bossa pattern over this chord progression. So I'm going to play it through once so you can hear how it goes. And then I'm going to show you a lot of different songs that use this chord progression. Of course, the one that I played earlier, The Girl from Ipanema, would go like this. And then another Jobim tune that you probably heard before, So Danco Samba. And then the first part of Desafinado, it's just the first 4 bars of the song, but you probably heard that tune as well. And then we have the next tune is No More Blues, another Jobim tune. So we have again just the first 4 bars of that. And then we get into some swing tunes that, again, use the same chord progression of 1 to dominant 2, exactly like you. And then we have A Train, which is the Duke Ellington tune. So we have using that same chord progression, 1 and dominant 2. So let's explore these songs more in detail. All right, so we're going to begin with talking about the 7th chords that are used in this particular chord progression. So we're starting with the C major 7, or the 1 chord, so everyone can play this together. We have the root, the 3, the 5, and the 7. That's a root position C major 7 chord. And that's done for 2 measures. So we have C major 7 for a bar, another C major 7 for a bar. Next up we have the D7 chord. So we have root, 3, 5, and minor 7. So D7, and that's for 2 bars. And then the 5th bar we have D minor 7. That the dash stands for minor. So we have a root, minor 3rd, 5, minor 7, D minor 7. Next bar we have the 5 chord, or G7. So again we have root, major 3rd, 5th, minor 7. And then we're back to the 1 chord, so we have C major 7 again. So root, 3, 5, 7. And then this is what's called the turnaround, where we go to the 1, 6, 2, 5. So we go from C major 7 to the 6th chord, which is A7. So we have root, 3, 5, minor 7. And then D minor 7 as the 2 chord. So again we have root, 3, 5, minor 7, and the 5 chord. Root, 3, 5, minor 7. So if we were to use Roman numerals for this chord progression, we'd have the 1 chord for 2 bars. We'd have a dominant 2 chord for 2 bars. We'd have a minor 2 chord toward the 5th bar, the 5 chord, and then we'd have 1, 6, 2, 5. Now again, if we're playing this, we probably wouldn't be playing all of these in root positions, but it's good to just play through them in root positions so you can get a feel of how they sound. So what makes this chord progression really interesting is that usually in a major scale, the 2 chord would be minor, right? So what makes this interesting is that the 2 chord in this case is major and it's dominant. So we have this 1 to dominant 2. So it's really unique in that way. Again, we're used to kind of hearing 2 as minor, but all of a sudden it's bright, we hear this major 2. It's really interesting. So that's what makes this chord progression stand out from others, is going from 1 to dominant 2. All right, great. So I'm going to show you this chord progression and this bossa accompaniment. And I'm going to play this for you first, then we're going to break it down hands separately and then work it together. So here we go. Great. So we're going to break this down into left hand and right hand. We're going to first start with our left hand, and notice what the rhythm is. It's very repetitive. You're going 1, 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, 4. This is a very typical left hand accompaniment pattern in Bossa Nova groove, and it's used in songs like Song for My Father, for example. But let's try that first. We're going to play this. And if you also notice, if we have 2 chords per measure, the 3rd beat goes to the next chord. So in the first 4 measures, we have root 5 5, root 5 5, root 5 5, root 5 5. So as long as there's 1 chord, we do root 5 5. But then if you look at the last 2 measures, we have 1 1 6, 2 2 5. So that's where it changes a little bit from what you're used to hearing when it's just 1 chord per measure. So let's try that together, just playing the left hand with the accompaniment. Here we go. Good. That's it. So we have this 1, 2, and 3 rhythm that just keeps repeating. So the left hand, once you have that rhythm, can go a little bit more on autopilot so that we can focus on our right hand, which I think is the trickier part of this rhythm. First, what we're going to do, before we play any notes, we're just going to clap the rhythms with the accompaniment, and so you can hear how they fit together. So here we go. We're just going to clap it the first time with the track. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. Now it seems like it's complicated, but if we break it down, it's really a 2-bar rhythmic phrase. We have 1, 2, nothing on 3, then the and of 3, nothing on 4, and of 4, nothing on the next downbeat, and of 1 and 2, and then 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. So if we just learn that, that rhythm repeats over and over again. So let's try that just together. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, 3, 4. So once you get the rhythm, we're going to talk about the notes. And the first chord is a C major 7. And in the beginning, we played the C major 7 in a root position. But in this case, we're only going to use 2 of the notes, which are really the 2 out of the 3 most important parts of any chord, right? The first being the root, the second being the 3rd, which tells whether the chord's major or minor, and the 7th, which tells you whether it's a major 7, minor 7, dominant. So we're just going to play the 3rd and the 7th in the right hand. So I'm going to play this through for you once, the right hand only, and then we'll talk about it in a minute. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. Now notice when we have two of the same chord in two measures, we just stay on that chord, right, the whole time. But in the last two measures where we're going from the 1 chord to the 6th chord to the 2 chord, notice what happens from the 6th chord to the 2 chord. Do you see how we get to the 2 chord just a half a beat early? So the coordination is that the right hand is arriving at D minor before the left hand root in the next bar. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. Okay, so this time I'd like you to try to play along with me, okay? Here we go, let's try it together. 1, 2, ready, and. Good. Great, so that's just the right hand. And now we're going to try to play it together, right hand only, but with the track this time, so you have some context. Here we go. Nice. And the other thing I wanted to mention is the articulation of this too. Notice when we're going on that and of 1 of the second bar, we're kind of bringing out that bop, 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 ba, da, bop, to emphasize that a little bit more. So that's just something that we can add in the articulation. Okay, great. So I think we might be ready to put the hands together. Let's try it once with me playing, play along with me, and then we'll do it another time with the track. Here we go. Let's try it together with me playing. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Good, and if it's too difficult to put the hands together, it's okay, just pick one hand and play that. Don't feel bad about that. It's totally fine. This is a tricky thing. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your belly at the same time. One other thing you can do to help with the coordination of playing with the hands together before you dive into playing the notes is to tap out the rhythms with the hand together so you can really feel how they work together. So this will be your left hand. This is your right hand. If you have a piano or a keyboard, you can use the upper part here. And we'll try it like that together. So you're just doing the rhythms with your hands. So we'll go like this. 1, 2, ready, and. Pretty cool, huh? So it's really trying to internalize the groove before you actually add the notes. And then when you're comfortable with that, then you can add the notes together and play them on the piano. Okay, great. I think we're ready to do it with the track. Here we go. Got that. All right, great job, everybody. Now comes the fun part. I'm going to take some of these songs that I mentioned earlier and I'm going to superimpose them over the groove. So what I'd like you to do is keep playing this groove. We're going to do it 3 times, but I'm going to add in some of these songs over the top of them so you can hear how these melodies fit in with your chord progression. All right, here we go. job, everybody. Congratulations.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the lesson, be sure to check out pianowithjohnny.com. We have over 1,000 step-by-step lessons for all playing levels, where you'll learn your favorite songs, styles, and how to improvise at the piano. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.